Welcome back, everyone, to the Natty 19 podcast. I'm Jonathan Marshall, and I sit with the rest of the Natty 19 crew. Charlie, James, Kayway, and Christy.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
We're all here again to bring you episode 66 of the Natty 19 podcast. It's been a hell of a run so far. We're excited to get going here, but first, I want to mention our Patreon again. Find us there, Natty 19 podcast. And if you've been really digging our show, and if you can and want to contribute and help support the cause, that's the place to do it. We do offer some bonus content on there for subscribers. Check it out. It's pretty cool. Also, if you want to help support us but can't shell out any gold pieces, man, we get it. You work your ass off, 2 jobs, your bills cost almost as much as you make, and your 15-year-old car is making a strange noise from the front passenger side.
Sorry about that.
We get it because that's us.
Hoopty.
That's why our show is free. But what you can do is head over to iTunes, leave a written review about us. It's free, and it goes a long way in helping us get out there and into the ears of the masses. If you don't have an iPhone or whatever, no problem. You know someone who does. Just ask them if you could borrow it for a second.
You can also download iTunes on a PC as well.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, borrow your friend's phone, your mom's phone, push it through. It's easy. I've done it like 3 times. It only gets easier as you go. Enough of that, though, because shit's happening in Schult. Let's go, girls and boys. Hit the damn music already. So, where did we leave off? I got it.
Victory.
Let's do a recap. With Fanthaza's aid, you managed to lure out and defeat Rosnasi's personal guard, Sekalok. You move on to Rosnasi's throne room. You handle the ghouls easy enough, except Zavril. You find the secret passage that Fanthaza told you about, the hidden quarters of Rosnasi himself. And it was there you found him, gazing solemnly into a mirror, applying fresh bandages to his face. You had a bit of a dialogue with him, Irame. You took the reins on that. You learn he's dying from the death curse. But, interestingly enough, it seems he wasn't aware that the origin of the death curse was said to be beyond the dark obelisk.
Stupid Nasi.
The same obelisk he had agreed to protect. Why was he protecting it? Zavril, go ahead.
Well, I actually just kind of had a out of character moment. I just had a suspicion as to what's actually going on. So,
Care to share with the class?
sure, I'm pretty certain that the person that Rosnasi was working with is the one that put this in place now.
Good guess, Zavril, Dawn Tracker.
If the person that wanted him to protect it and make sure nobody got in there knew that it was behind there.
Good guess.
But we have no idea who that is, do we?
No.
No.
Do you remember why Rosnasi was protecting the gateway to the Tomb of the 9 Gods? That was the question.
Didn't he have
Didn't he just
designs?
answer that?
He had
Is-
designs on the tomb.
Isn't the obelisk the gateway?
The obelisk is the gateway, yes. But you don't remember why Rosnasi was protecting it? It's okay if you don't.
Isn't it because an entity unknown to us told him to?
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, that's what I
Rosnasi
thought,
isn't a
too.
slave, right?
He agreed to it because the entity told him that he would help in turn for gardening,
Cultivating the
So if he mowed the lawn in front of the obelisk,
cultivating the end of the world.
okay,
Gardening around the erection.
so if he agreed to guard the entrance to the tomb of annihilation, this entity would help him to free Dendar, the night serpent.
That's correct. Bingo. Where does that door reside? Anyone remember that one? I like doing these little quiz questions.
The door for Dendar?
Yeah. Anyone remember that? There was a painting in Rosnasi's quarters.
Didn't it have something to do with actually Firefinger? Or the Fire Mountain?
Not Firefinger, but you're close.
The volcano?
It's a mountain range known as the Peaks of Flame.
Okay, the Peaks of Flame.
Yep.
And that wasn't
Close, though.
Firefinger, because I remember at the
No.
time I got excited.
Yeah, Firefinger's actually in a different location. That's actually off.
There's a Twin Peak joke in there somewhere, and I just can't come up with it.
I want to say Firefinger is actually down the Tairiki River, which we'll go in season 2.
So, the Black Obelisk. This is where Dendar is said to be held.
No.
The Black Obelisk? No. That's the Tomb of the Nine Gods.
No, the fire.
Yes.
Yes, the door that Uptau swore to protect is located beneath the Peaks of Flame. That's where Dendar sleeps. Rosnasi, continuing the recap, Rosnasi hands you the final puzzle cube, and he tells you to go. Svitlangi, you were the last to leave his chamber. Now, outside of the palace, a bit south of it, in the nobles' district of Omu, digging through some rubble, following Quincy's map that Triss had given him all those years ago, Orvex, Riga, and Quincy together dig out the entrance of a tunnel. They follow it in a bit, reaching a shambled basement. Nature trying like hell to claim it through all the cracks and crannies. Quincy finds a piece of the fabled Krugen sphere. This is the piece Copernicus' heart has been searching for. Quincy finds it. Now, upon touching the artifact, you experience a vision of sorts, Quincy, seemingly of an age long past. You discover a younger Triss, accompanied by several others, a Fey woman named Sibylla, a harper named Artis Cimber, and a nobleman who seemed to lack much detail. The strange companions seem to be discussing an imminent attack on the city of Mesro by Rosnasi and his undead legion. Sibylla and Artis alike seem to be promoting this plan that could possibly spell the end of the Fey woman's Sibylla.
Where is Mesro geographically?
Mesro, let me open up a map here. Mesro is, so if from Port Nyanzaru, if you were to travel down the river Tairiki, maybe about as far south as Camp Righteous was on the Sashin Star, and, then headed east all the way to the ocean, there's an inlet there known as Kitcher's Inlet.
Okay, so that's southeast of Nyanzaru.
It is southeast. Okay. More south than east, but yeah, it's down there. It's actually not too far from Firefinger. But that's where Mesro last sat. Triss appears to be in fervent opposition to this plan. How does Quincy react to this recreated scene involving his longtime tutor, mentor, and friend?
That Triss was here in Chult was something that I don't think... It was something that Quincy did not know. That he knew potentially Sybil. I'm assuming that's who Sibylla is. It's kind of a shock. I mean, Quincy right now, after having this vision, he knows something's up. He knows that like his obsession with the Krugen sphere and with trying to stop Copernicus from finding it was not coincidence. It's not, maybe not even organic. Maybe it's by design. So he suspects a lot, but he does trust Master Triss. He doesn't think that anything that Master Triss would put into play would be malicious in any way. So, yeah, there's not much. He doesn't have... I also feel like Quincy doesn't have time to really dwell on this. After having this vision, like, he just wants to know... He wants to know more. He still has, like, a strong drive to know more.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking at Orvex... Quincy's just he's gonna have the piece of the Krugen sphere in his hand, and he's gonna shoot Orvex a glance and say, Master Orvex, is there anything in your book that has any mention to an artifact such as this?
Orvex approaches you, and he's staring curiously at the shard. I do not believe so, Quincy. Is that why we are here? What have you there?
I do believe it is. I do believe it is. However, I feel very, very strongly that this should be kept between us. And not, at least until I know what's going on.
I understand all too well the importance of such secrets.
Cappy's ears are just burning red, ringing right now.
It's just that we need more information. I'm afraid that the power of this artifact can be misused, and there are those amongst my peers that, in strong emotion, may be misled into misusing it.
I understand, Quincy. Your secret is safe with me. I must say I am curious myself to see this through. What a remarkable find.
Quincy looks over at Riga. Does he seem to be paying attention to what's going on here?
You see Riga wipe the sweat from his brow with his sleeve, and then he swigs off of his water skin.
Mr. Riga, may I count upon your discretion, at least for some time?
You can trust me. I do not care to get involved with your disputes, so long as we all get along.
Dispute is a strong word. I am merely trying to figure out the truth of the matter.
I don't even know what it is there that you carry.
I do not care for your web of lies.
I don't know if it's a lie to wait. Is waiting lying?
Oh, there's always that question: is omittance a lie?
But it's not even like omittance in an absolute sense. It's like, let me figure out what this is and what needs to be done before I share it with everybody else. Is that a lie? Some measure of, I don't know, forethought?
No, it's not a lie. I mean, it's withholding the truth, I guess, but
Delaying the truth? I don't know.
but I mean, sometimes
It's
that's
the
what
wise
needs to be
choice.
done.
Yep. Even the oddball white lie once in a while is appropriate.
Riga says, I am getting hungry, though. I do not know how you guys do this all the time. All move, no eat. Also, I'm not sure if you noticed while you were discussing things, but it sounds like the battle is ceasing.
Then perhaps we should get back to our rally point.
We will see who won soon enough, I am sure.
I trust Mr. Don Tracker to take care of our friends.
So, back in the Fane, the rest of you are standing in the throne room. More blasts and booms echo in the distance, but this time they appear to be getting further away. Even with the added distance between the Fane and the throne room, it's still easy enough to determine that the wizards are getting pushed back. What do you do? I mean, by now, two of the ghouls have returned to stand at their posts, motionless. Again, you've got an opening on the western wall leading to that underground river. The crumbled stonework around the opening gives you the sense that it had been busted inward ages ago. And lastly, you've got the tunnel that you entered that leads back to the Fane.
So, couple things.
And Copernicus, before you continue, Copernicus, you managed to steal about 150 gold pieces worth of trinkets.
All right.
Is that what you're going to ask?
That and like any of the bodies, or I'd figured now that we're not in combat on the way out, we could take a better look at things. Sekalok, did he have anything juicy or?
Yeah, Sekalok. Most of what Sekalok has is burnt to a crisp as far as gear goes, but he does drop a scimitar on the ground.
Ooh, detect magic.
You don't detect any magic.
And then the next thing I was going to bring up is,
I already have a non-magical scimitar.
Are we really going to leave Rosnasi here?
There's more in store for Rosnasi.
Just doesn't seem right. Doesn't sit well with me.
You are welcome to turn back. What is your name, Drow? Copernicus?
Yes, Copernicus Hart.
It is likely you will not see him there. He has probably fled by now.
Fled back into the shadows like the snake he is.
And as for his goal, the release of Dendar, I don't see that happening.
It will not happen this night.
so this is all going on as we're walking towards.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so at this point, there were two options, right, for us to make our escape.
I think we should go up the river. We know where it goes to.
Do we?
Yes. We crossed it on the way in.
We are headed back to the Red Wizard's hold, right?
Well,
We got what we came for.
Yeah, that's our rendezvous point with Quincy and
What if the wizards are still
Orvex.
fighting?
We got what we came for.
From Svitlangi's perspective, which is the safest and easiest way out between the two?
Probably back the way you came. You know that along that river lives a hydra that they feed corpses to. You know that if the hydra had just fed, you'd be safe enough swimming because you don't have boats.
Yeah.
If you had those boats that were on the water, you would definitely be safe, provided you had something to feed it if it was hungry.
Cappy looks at the horn from the King of Feathers and looks at Zavril.
Be nice to add to my trophies.
Are you going to tell us about the Hydra?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I was just going with. I was just going with Copernicus's assumption.
I don't know
Yes,
if we
there
can mess
is-
with a Hydra. We don't have Loktuk with us.
If what was I going to say? If expedience is our goal, then perhaps we should avoid confronting the guardian of the river.
I agree. It's wholly unnecessary.
Yeah, so pretty much if you had those rowboats with the bells on it, that's what the bells are for. They take the rowboats out with corpses, and then when they get to its lair, they ring the bell and throw the corpses in the water, and then it feeds. And while it feeds, it's fucking fine.
Okay, so well, let me ask you this. Is it quicker to go by the river or the way we came? Because we do have corpses just laying around.
We do. Not doing
We
anything.
do. And we don't know how full those that back entrance is of Yuante anymore.
I mean, honestly, I would rather go back the way we came versus...
If you
It is a known.
If you had boats, it would be quicker,
Okay,
but
okay,
you'd be
but we-
swimming, and in some parts, it's 30
Yeah.
feet deep.
Zavril, you want to go for a
Yeah,
dip?
so then there's no...
No.
Yeah,
I'm not swimming.
There's only two boats to your knowledge, and you recall both of them sitting at the shoreline where you came in.
And
Right.
right.
Without the
All
boats.
right. Looks like we are walking back then.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I think we should check to see how the Red Wizards are progressing anyways, or if they needed our help.
Meh.
We got what we came for.
I agree with Zavril. They can handle themselves.
They were aware of our plan.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest we stick to it.
All right. So, heading back out the way you came. Now, you do recall Rosnasi said that his people wouldn't bother you on the way out, but you question the expedience of how quickly the message would, in fact, get across to everybody. How he would manage such a feat. And obviously the ghouls is something different, but the rest of the Yuanti, Malisons, all that other stuff. So going out the main gate where the Red Wizards are fighting would still be a bit nerve-wracking.
No,
We've decided
to go the way we came.
All right, going the way you came, easy enough. On your way out, you come across a group of 3 human mercenaries that are coming in with a bag of sorts, a body bag essentially, blood-stained. And they were just they gave you a nod on the way by, as if they were coming in from some sort of expedition.
Humans.
Yeah, and this isn't unheard of. Rosnasi employs all sorts of. Think of Jabba's palace in Star Wars. It's just a haven for fucking
scum, villainy, vileness.
Yeah.
Svitlangi will put on a commanding tone, and she'll say, "Halt, mercenary."
And they stop, one of them looking you up and down, licking his lips. "And what can I do you for, sweet cheeks?" All gruff and dirty.
"From which mission do you return? Who is in the bag?"
Let me think for a second. Who's asking?
"We are on orders from Rosnasi."
"Well, then you'd be the one to pay me for this bounty."
"Be lucky that you leave with your head. You could seek payment from whence you normally do. I wish to know who is in the bag. If you haven't noticed, this place has been infiltrated, and how do I know you are not bringing unwanted visitors?"
He kind of smirks, cocks his head. He nods at his buddy. And his buddy that's dragging the bag, the 2 of them dragging their bag, drop it to the ground. One of them pulls out a dagger menacingly towards you. Still eyeballing you, staring you down. He reaches down and he cuts the bag open.
I almost said, "I trust you'll use that dagger to cut the bag open."
And when he does, a body that you don't recognize. It's just none of you recognize. You can't even really make out. It could be human. Just a bloody pulp.
Do I know why these? Is this a common occurrence, and do I know why?
Yeah, I mean it's a Rosnasi has he's got a grand vision, and it's not uncommon for him to, especially if his forces are spread too thin, to bring in mercenaries to go and off certain names that are in his way. And this could just be one of them.
It's just weird they're coming in right now in the middle of the place being attacked.
Well, I mean, it's not, you don't find it all too weird, I mean, there's no real internet or phones, they were coming in. No, they're coming in from a jungle expedition. It's just,
right.
Right. Through the back way, too, right?
Yeah, through the back way.
Yeah.
I see. What is this unfortunate individual's name?
Well, if we got the right fella, his name is Chaz.
Chaz.
Well, Rosnasi should be happy with this one. He's been giving your guys a bit of a hard time up there in Nyanzaru.
Irame's going to give a visible exhale, because for a split second, she worried that was Zimwa B.
Nope, doesn't look like Zimwa B. It actually, by his attire, he actually looks like a gladiator of sorts.
But when they had the bloodied bag with the body in it, Irame got pretty worried.
We didn't even ask about Zimwabi.
We haven't heard. Well, we knew what he's
Rosnasi.
up to, sort of. Yeah, we didn't ask Rosnasi about him.
If he had seen him or anything, because he might have.
What if Rosnasi doesn't know about him, though?
Right.
And you would sell him out.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was so. Irame was relieved when the bag was opened, and then when it was kind of a bloody mess, she was still a little tense. And when they gave the name, she was relieved that it wasn't Zimwabi.
If you've got your information, I'd like to get paid. Now, if you're not the one paying me, please get out of our way so I can find the one who is.
I am satisfied, mercenary. Continue on your way.
Well, much obliged.
Oh, and if you are serious about that thing, find me later.
He blushes.
If you dare.
He blushes a bit, and his comrades kind of give him, "Oh shit, son!"
As we all start passing by them, Irame's gonna jut her face out at one of them.
He flinches.
Punk 'em out.
Did you learn that in bully school?
Yeah, absolutely.
Elven private schools?
Yeah, and you guys continue on your way.
Yep. And then, and as we pass through the room with the snake, Svetlangi will just give the snake her regards.
Yeah, who remembers the snake's name?
Ozymas.
Azimas, yes.
That's right.
Stay out of our way.
Does he have any wares?
He's actually hiding. When you guys come in the chamber, he pokes his head out. You see him. He's like, "What is going on out there? What is all this racket, Svetlangi? Is everyone all right?"
Not everyone. There has been an infiltration, but I do think it's almost over.
My word, I hope they really get a handle on it. I'm having a hard time sleeping with all the racket.
Isn't this a storeroom? Is there things we can take?
There's barrels and crates.
Just it's like a BJ's. It's like the BJ's. What do I want 50 pounds of hot dogs for, Ozymas? I just want a half dozen, bro.
Oh no, it's like a dry storage, not like a merchant, not like a store, not like a convenience store.
I was just hoping. Maybe some magic potions.
What can I do
kick
for
around,
you?
or-
No, I think he probably just manages rations and does all that shit.
Yeah, he counts out all the supplies that are in the Fane, and if they're running low, then he lets somebody know, and they,
No mango leaves?
all you see is barrels and crates. If you want to poke around, you might, you can definitely
Are
do
we passing
so.
through quickly, or?
I assumed so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
definitely
slow the
pretty
group
quickly.
down.
Yeah. So Svetlangi will just say, "Rest well, Azimas. It is almost over."
I do hope they get a handle on it. Farewell, Svetlangi. And you guys move through into the miners section where the slaves are chipping away.
Oh shit! Do we have Zavril with us?
Yep.
Obviously we do. Yeah.
So do we have to...
Put on that
Carry
fucking
him out.
mask. Put on that. Put on that.
Yeah,
Whatever that thing
Plague
is.
Doctor mask.
Yes, thank you. The plague
Doctor,
mask.
yeah.
You go through the door, and the slaves, you don't hear any of the chipping, but you also don't see any Yuanti here.
Nice.
Do we walk by any slaves?
Yeah, they're all kind of resting without any taskmaster threatening them with his presence. They're all kind of just taking the opportunity to rest their sore old bones.
Can we take them with us?
Yeah.
Any lazy one that
bastards.
Svetlangi sees, she's going to crack her whip at as she walks by.
They quickly pick up a mining pick and start chipping away.
Oh,
Let's
I think
free 'em.
Let's free them. Irame will look around at them and she'll loudly say, "The Fane is under siege. The opportunity to escape is now. Your life is in your hands."
Oh, geez, what about Svetlangi? This might be Svetlangi. Well, how do you feel about this?
They're
This-
slaves to Raznasi.
The jungle will probably
Not
eat
to
them
you.
alive.
They are slaves to the Fane. I have welcomed you into my home for you to steal what you came for.
And you would not have completed your task had it not been for us.
Yeah, what's
tell
a
you
few
what.
slaves?
I tell you what, elven woman,
I'm nervous.
why don't you
Irame pushes her glasses up.
pick one slave to free, uncontested?
Hold on now. If she gets a slave, I want a slave too. I'll take that little one.
You may free one slave.
And what's to stop them from leaving once we pass through?
As she says loudly.
Well, let's see what I've got here.
Oh shit.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is Svitlangi's.
Cappy takes a few steps back, but towards Irame.
Whoops, I'm looking at Quincy's character sheet.
God damn it, why didn't I choose counterspell?
So what do the slaves look like their reaction is? And do we generally know that they're
That's a good
how
question.
subservient and how how whipped into shape they are, how beat down and
Yeah, I mean, these ones are kept fairly healthy. Why did I lose my... There we go. These ones are kept fairly healthy. They're working for some purpose that you're not entirely sure of. But that being said, as soon as you made a threatening motion with the whip, they are back to work. They're not looking to escape or anything. They know better.
Okay, so and your question was what?
My question is, and what's to stop them from leaving once we've passed through?
They know what the consequences will be. Do you really think that because we have gotten what we came for, that the Yuan-Ti will not reorganize immediately upon our leaving?
I'm sure that they will, but that's not
Are
to
you
say that
willing
some
to
of these
put-
unhappy souls couldn't escape.
Are you willing to put their lives at risk to do so?
If they're willing to put their lives at risk for freedom, then why not?
And how many Yuan-Ti do you think surround the Fane?
I'm sure many. But if ever an opportunity there was, it is now.
So ask yourself, elf woman, do you do this for the good of these people, or do you do this out of your own vanity? Because you will surely get them killed.
I leave it up to them. I merely let them know that it's under siege, and if there's a time to escape, it is now. Their life is in their hands. I will not force them out.
Again, if you choose one, I will not contest it. Otherwise, know that you are putting their lives at risk.
I put no one's life at risk. I could choose one and take them out with us, but that's not to stop the rest from knowing what's going on and leaving if they so choose. Or risking their lives for an escape. There's really nothing to be done here. The information is out. If they'd like to leave, they can try it.
Svitlangi's going to use thaumaturgy to shake the ground
Ooh,
and,
I love thaumaturgy. Nice.
and to make her voice really loud and booming. And she's going to say, "You heard the elf woman. This is your chance. Risk death for your freedom. Or stay knowing that you'll live."
And Irame will loudly say, "A petty theatrical spell to scare you. Like I said, they are weak at the moment. Leave if you so choose. And I will not choose one of you to come with us. If you would like to try to escape, that is your will."
And Svitlangi will just respond with, "They know more than you, perhaps, that the Yuan-Ti are not weak, nor have they ever been weak."
None of them, a couple of them might glance over their shoulder to see what's going on, but they keep chipping away.
Yeah, so Irame will nod at whoever she makes eye contact with as they pass through.
Are you going to pick one?
She says she's not going to pick one.
If you guys want to pick one, I mean, it's their
It's the right thing to do.
it's their option.
I mean,
Cappy, you-
agree with Svitlangi. Honestly, releasing him into the jungles was a big surprise. Like, being in the jungle is a big surprise for me. You're going to release a bunch of slaves in there, they're going to die.
Yeah, but a lot of them
Yeah.
might be jungle dwellers from villages in the deeps of Chult.
We don't have the means to take care of all these.
I agree. I never thought that they were our problem per se, but there's no harm in letting them know that they have an opportunity, whether it be small.
Svitlangi is really, right now, just curious about, when given the choice to pick one slave, who they'll pick. She's kind of using this as an opportunity to get to know these people, to kind of get some insight into their minds.
Well, we've wasted enough time here. They know they can leave if they want to. I say if we're taking one, we take one of the youngest.
I agree. That's logical. I thought that myself.
They'll eat less.
Thought you were taking me. Out of my way, Peck.
The fuck out of here, halfling.
Welcome, friends, to the Fane of the Night Serpent.
It is too heart-wrenching for me to choose one soul. Copernicus, you'd be better at it.
Yeah, Cappy will scan the room for a young-looking Chultan, or what, are they all Chultans, or
Yeah, for the most part.
do they even seem to understand us when we're talking?
Yeah, a few of them look over their shoulder, and they seem to respond to the
They'd at least probably get
words.
what Svitlongi was saying, and essentially be able to decipher what the argument is over.
I mean, none of them seem interested in leaving.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I don't want to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Make
not
me.
going to force anyone out of their shackles. I can't believe none of them would step forward and want to leave, though. With a group of us, like under protection.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think of what I guess this is at a game.
And
It makes sense. What if they're like eventually going to become, purebloods or...
it's not even that. Like, we don't even know how long they've been here. What if they were bored into this? That's all they know. You're going to try taking people away from that?
Well, that was why I didn't choose one. That was why I was like, I'm just letting them know if they want to get the fuck out of here. Now's the
You're
time to do it.
kidnapping one of the.
Taking one of the children.
That's why I was like, I won't choose one. I'm just letting them know. It's a piece of information.
They go back to the slave quarters at the end of the night and like, those damn terrorists came in again and took Jimmy.
That's why. Just information.
Oh shit!
God, you ever think of our actions like that, like in character?
Yeah.
Copernicus, did you choose one?
No, I mean, obviously we're not taking one. That's,
Yeah.
Every time I try to, I get pushback. So
I wasn't sure. if
He said you could take one.
Yeah. That's why, well...
If you take
Irame
one, it
wouldn't-
seems to be by force.
Yeah,
Then none of them
Irame
are.
wouldn't
Right.
take one. That's
Oh,
why
okay.
she said. That's why she said I couldn't do that. If Copernicus, if you'd like, that's your option. But that's not what I'm gonna do. I was just here, letting him know.
Right. I mean, the Yuanti are so devious, and their methods. A good way you can think of it is Ramsay on Game of Thrones
Oh, I love Ramsay.
times like 3 or 4.
the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
He was-
handsome.
He was a good character.
Yeah.
He was a good character.
Yeah, amplify that by like 3 or 4, and that's like the Yuanti. I mean, they created Taguda Village as like a, as like a fear breeding ground.
What was Theon's name?
Theon Greyjoy.
As Ramsay's plaything, though.
Oh yeah.
It's like
I thought you were gonna ask, is
Screech
there a
or-
slave in here that looks like Theon Greyjoy?
Reek.
Yeah, it's
Reek,
just the army of reeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
So
want them coming with us.
Svitlongi took special note that Irame was willing to delegate and not take responsibility for making a decision. She passed it off to Copernicus. And that Copernicus, ultimately, just seeing the state of these people, just didn't even...
I gotta say, I
Try.
disagree though. I think Irame made the decision not to take one. She said, I will not take one. I'm giving them their own shit.
Right. You were also kind of like, I can't decide, Copernicus, you
Yeah.
do it, or something. Yeah. And I do, yeah. And you did give them, like, you did say, this is an opportunity
Yeah.
if you want to leave.
I don't know.
But that still tells
Yeah.
Svitlongi that
Irame definitely wouldn't take someone.
there's a level of responsibility.
Yeah.
And I think that's what she was getting at when she called your efforts vain. Was that there's a level of responsibility that she doesn't perceive Irame wanting to take and following through with that action.
Yeah, I wouldn't want the responsibility of that. That's for sure. Or Irame wouldn't. I don't want to take one. I don't want to do that. I didn't actually even want responsibility for any. I didn't want to like take them with us. I was just letting them.
Let
Well-
them go like an Indiana Jones movie when they're all
Right.
running out into the
I'm like, we don't have time for taking
Except
care
for
of a
there's,
whole
like-
lot of slaves.
Fucking undead T-Rexes and displacer beasts fucking crawling around
Right.
out there.
Assassin vines.
I know if it was an Indiana Jones movie, the next scene they'd all be running back into the back into the
Putting
Fane.
their shackles back on.
We'd be running back in with them.
Right. Yeah, y'all hiring? Some stale bread and water, eh?
You grab one of the slaves. I got this I got this escaped slave that I'm returning to Rosnessy.
Zavril would be super annoyed with all of us.
Yes, very much so.
Ooh, tense moment. Whew.
Yeah, I got sweaty. I got a little sweaty. I'm wearing too many layers.
It's hot in here tonight.
It is.
You guys got the heat going.
Yeah.
Do we?
No. It's just the days have been warmer.
temperature
and
drops
because
tonight.
it's the radiant floor heating.
Is it?
It's like,
Doesn't go quick.
yeah,
That's what they say.
which is good and bad.
Well, it's actually kind of, this whole thing reminded me, like, what did we ever do with the slaves from Toguda Village?
They all just ran out into the Zinti.
Didn't we accidentally blow some of them up?
Some of them got blown up.
Yes.
Yeah, but we broke the spell. And
Quincy.
they know how to like take care of themselves in the jungle.
Yeah, Quincy
Yeah.
saved one as well.
Yeah, and in fairness, we don't know where these people are from. They could have been jungle peoples.
Let's get out of this.
You know, we should have looked for Zimwabi in there.
I think he probably would have come forward. I mean, I would hope so.
Yeah, when Aramay was yelling.
He's like, man, I just can't get away from these.
He's hiding behind his mining pick.
Copernicus is trying to drag him out.
Not me, not me.
You're making me look bad in front of the other slaves. Yeah, so we continue.
Yeah, sorry.
All right.
I didn't mean that to turn into such an ordeal, but it was a good one. That's some good role
It was
playing.
actually a good ordeal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's supposed to happen, honestly.
He orchestrated the whole thing.
No, I didn't orchestrate it, but leaving, you know, I paint these scenarios for you guys to react to. So that was your reactions. As you, because there's not much else in between there. I mean, from there you go right down to the cave that you came in. You know, everything's quiet. As you enter the passage leading into the Red Wizard's refuge, you notice a trail of blood smears on the ground. Zavril, you can tell immediately. You go into tracker mode. Generally lighter steps, and the shape of the boot tells you human female. Drag marks indicate an injured left leg. Slight lean as well. Could also be suffering from an abdominal wound. One other set of tracks points to a human male. Appears he was helping her along at times. Trace odor of burning paper and sulfur floats in the air. The Red Wizards have beaten you home, but clearly only 2 of them. So far, anyway. That's what you get from those marks.
Wow, that was like extremely depressing.
Yeah.
It seems
There was-
we fared
there
much
was-
better.
It does seem we fared much better. There was 4, right?
No, there was... Well,
There was an
4
entire attacking
mercenaries.
force.
There was a whole, what do you call a bunch of red wizards? A murder.
A murder, a red wizard.
gaggle.
A gaggle.
Not a coven. What's the other one for
was gonna say
mages?
coven.
I was going to say a cloth of Red Wizards.
Cloth. That's a good one.
Yeah, that
That's
is a good one.
A cove is for some reason, but that's kind of like coven.
Witches,
Yeah.
a spell. A spell of Red Wizards.
A school.
I like cloth.
Cloth
School
is
works
good.
too.
Yeah.
So, Zaves, did you want to say anything about your...
Yeah, I'm actually going to point that out, that it looks like they didn't fare too well. That you said that there was only 2, a male and a female.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. It seems that there were only 2 that made it back before us. One male, one female. It looks like the female's injured quite badly.
How fortunate for us.
Yes, less for us to contend with.
They took the brunt of the attack.
That was the plan all along. That's why they attacked from the front.
Cappy will dip in first.
All right. Upon entering the makeshift war room of the refuge, you see Zegmira half laying, half leaning in an alcove set in the wall. Books and scroll cases strewn about the floor. Beads of sweat pour from her pale, blood-smeared face as her wide eyes turn to your entry. Tell me, were we able to buy you the time needed to retrieve the cube? You see she's holding her abdomen.
Your efforts were not in vain.
At this point, Dyrax enters from the back room with somewhat clean rags and a bucket of water. He pauses only for a moment at your attention, then continues to tend to Zegmira's wounds. And as he turns his back to you, you notice scorch marks down his neck and shoulder beneath clawed, tattered robes. It's difficult to tell, but the burns appear to be not made from fire, but from the inside, perhaps poison. And after a moment, he's still wrapping Zegmira's wounds. He says to you, "She will not last the night. I need to get her to the heart of Uptau sooner rather than later."
This is Zagmira. That won't last.
Irme is going to look to Copernicus and Zavril, and at the mention of the heart and perhaps having to leave, and just mention that Quincy has yet to return. If we haven't seen him yet, anyway.
Right. Yeah, we have to wait for Quincy and Orvex. Where's Yamuk? Maybe he can help you. You make it back.
Dyrax shakes his head, and Zegmira coughs up some blood. Yamuk did not make it. None of them made it.
We'll have to send a message or leave one for Quincy. If they need help traveling to the heart, we can't. We have to help them. They lost much aiding us.
At that, the door opens. Riga cautiously walks in, greatsword in hand, and upon seeing you, he sheaths his weapon. Quincy and Orvex follow in behind him with a sigh of relief.
Irme is going to run over and give a great big Irme hug to everybody, except for Orvex.
Orvex rushes in, concerned about everybody. He's checking wounds.
Quincy just blushes at Irme's attention.
Well, it's good to see we all made it back alive and in one piece.
I have a question.
A bit insensitive, Copernicus.
Orvex again says, "Where is Yamuk? Where are the others?" And then he kind of realizes, "Did you get the cube?"
I know Cappy doesn't have it. You guys would have never let him.
I think Irme had it.
Irme has it.
What a relief.
None of us grabbed it.
We left it.
Irme took it, I think.
That happened to me and Eve online all the time.
Yeah, Irme did take it.
Yeah, that happened to me too, and Eve. You had to manually claim your fucking reward.
Yep.
You'd get stations behind and then be...
Oh, man. It'd take like 45 minutes to travel through space to go back and get the shit that you forgot.
It's like leaving a bag on one of those roundabouts at the store.
This person that's injured, is she the one that took Wesson initially?
No. She's the Zegmira was the leader. She had 4 mercenaries and Yamuk.
She had a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, and
Tharsa.
Yeah, there was a couple other red wizards. Some of them stayed behind though, at the heart with Wesson, I believe, or at least they left 4 mercenaries at the heart.
Well,
And
she was the one that came up and was like, "Hey, we need to go get him to help immediately."
Oh
right?
yeah. She's the one who gave the orders to take Wesson.
Right.
Yeah. She's the Zagmira. Remember, she's the one. Half of her face resembles that of an old, like, 80-year-old woman. The other half, an 18-year-old woman.
Well, Zavril kind of wants to help her immediately, though, because she helped one of ours.
Dyrax sees you approach. Says, if you can do something to comfort her, to ease the pain, that would be nice. But we must get her to the heart. And you look down now that you're a bit closer, and you see where her wounds are. It's like all rotted.
Oh.
Necrotic damage. I'm familiar with it.
Copernicus, yeah, you do. You know right away. You know that smell.
Jams 2 fingers into it.
Licks it.
Pulls it out, sniffs
Licks
it.
his finger.
So, how do we get to the heart of Ooptao if we want to take her back?
Does the
There was a magic circle to the
Right.
south of Omu, where we took your friend.
Where we came in.
So we go up, pass by like our old guardhouse, up the stairs, out of the city.
So along the way before we get to that point, while we're moving through the jungle, Svitlangi will, pretty soon after we leave the building, she'll just say, "Halt," quite urgently, just so as to catch everybody's attention. And when she notices people turning to look, she's just going to simply say, "I am not to follow you to the heart. I have matters to take care of, but we will meet again."
Orvex, Zagmira and Orvex almost simultaneously go to speak up. Zagmira ends up winning the...
Right.
As they both
Who
speak,
speaks
yeah.
first, yeah.
Not all of us can go. The cubes must remain. And Orvex then nods. Zagmira is right. If the cubes should leave the protection of Omu, they will return to their shrines.
Oh. I don't like it.
I-
How the fuck are we supposed to get it to the obelisk?
Svitlangi
The obelisk is
smiles,
in
kind of.
Oh, is it? I'm an idiot.
She kind of smiles wryly, knowing that nobody is going to trust her with the cubes, but she's going to say it anyway. If you trust me, I can hold on to them and wait for your return.
No.
Copernicus.
No.
No.
I think he'd have a fucking heart attack if everyone was like, I think that's a great idea.
Great idea.
I've risked my life and banishment for my people. And our destinies are still intertwined. When the stars are right, we will meet again.
So are you to leave the city as well?
I will wait here for you.
Riga steps up. If I am to be babysitter of these cubes all the time, I will do so.
So, who's staying then and who's
So we
going?
leave all 9 cubes with Riga?
That sounds ridiculous.
It does sound ridiculous.
Orvex also steps forward.
A man we can all trust then.
Says, if you have a difficult time trusting Svitlangi and Riga, I also will stay with them. I have no reason to leave Omu. All of my work and studies are here, and you will return promptly, I trust.
Insight check.
I trust Orvex as far as stuff like that goes. As actually, Irame at this point trusts Orvex mostly all around. She just finds him irritating.
Thank you, Irame. It's good to hear. Good to know I finally won your trust.
Very well. If the matter is settled, then I will be on my way.
I could use a couple of things if you were to visit the bazaar. Perhaps potions of healing.
I thought we were going to the heart of Ooptao.
And we're going all the way back to Nine Zaru now.
Well,
Did
if
we
you
say
got a
that?
magic circle, I mean... It's actually a joke anyway. Orvex doesn't need potions.
No, we do.
We do.
Yeah. We don't have much money though. Even.
We could go to...
You guys got a shit ton of
We
money.
get a shitload of money.
We do.
You just got 150 gold.
That's like 2 baby potions, maybe 3 if we can swindle.
Even if we all go in there with 1 extra baby potion, that's like worth
We've got
having.
Irme. I mean,
You also have to remember,
Irme's
you
got some
lost
money.
200
She's
gold
in on-
pieces to me.
we've got an in. Irme's good friend, good buddies with.
With the potion maker.
Right.
You've also got the 3C shipping. You guys got paychecks too.
Oh, and we got
Oh my
Fane to
God.
get with our
We have
feathers.
paychecks.
Yeah. We've been gone for like a month.
No,
They probably thought we
No.
died in the fucking
we haven't
jungle.
been gone a month.
Yeah, we have.
It's been
We
pretty
left back
damn
in
close.
Svidlangi disappears, just vanishes.
Oh, thank the God. She's so
God.
terrible.
And she's back.
She was awful.
She's only invisible,
And then you
guys.
see, I was gonna say you see your footprints in the dirt, like Clash of the Titans.
She knocks Irme's glasses off.
Right.
Flicks your ear. That's what I would do.
Big
I was going to
pointy-
make it a point that Cappy didn't say goodbye to her. I don't know why. He was just going to like kind of keep his back to her as she left.
I
Doesn't
I
trust that
actually
snake woman.
appreciate Svidlangi and whoever she's working for. Begins with an F. I forgot her name.
Fentaza.
There you go.
Maybe not so much if you had ended up one of the slaves.
Hey, they gave me a potion to get through the pain. It goes a long way in my book.
All right. Is that? Did you guys want to bring up the idea of restocking in Nyanzaru?
Yeah, absolutely.
Quincy might have. Was there a library? Where did we have a good library?
We'll
Wakanga's library. Now, okay.
Valindra's
let me-
abode might have
Let me
information
paint it
as
like
well.
this, right? You guys know the next step. You have 9 cubes. The obelisk is the entrance to the tomb of the 9 gods. While you guys don't really know the extent of how dangerous it is, you're pretty certain at this point, as experienced adventurers, that you should probably.
All I know is
resupply.
I have 2 days worth of insect repellent. So
Well, healing potions or whatever. Anything that could might help you as you go in. I
Yeah,
mean,
'cause I think once we're in there, we're probably in.
It does seem there is something strange about getting to that point and then backing off, but it's just a logical thing to do.
If we have the means to travel through sorry.
Were you Svidlangi for a minute?
Yeah, what the hell is Quincy's voice?
I know the guy from Deadwood with the thin mustache that what's his name threw off the cliff.
just start
Oh,
talking.
I can't remember.
Just
him.
start talking about Mr. Don.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, just start
Mr.
calling.
Don Tracker.
Yeah.
Mr. Don Tracker.
There you go.
Pardon me, but if we had to use means of magic to travel, would it not behoove us to... Would it not behoove us to resupply in Port Nyanzaru? I fear the romance of the jungle is wearing thin. Quincy looks a little pale. Maybe a little tired. Maybe like he hasn't gotten sleep.
It would be wise to re-up on certain supplies.
Is there something you want to tell me, you little shit? That's a great idea, Quincy. In fact, I've been thinking about the gentle mist for quite some time.
I was just going to say. We should update Syndra, and also I'd like to perhaps write a letter to my family before we enter the tomb.
Everybody kind of looks away awkwardly when Irme mentions her family.
It's very likely that we could die down there.
All right. Well, if it's settled, then
So to the heart and then to the port?
I'm not looking forward to going to the heart.
Oh, you don't like necromancers?
No.
Necromancers rather bore me.
There was something about Valindra that did not sit well with me.
Yes, the woman is very off-putting.
Rather
but-
like to.
Zagmaris or Dyrax says, because now Zagmira is like in and out of consciousness
All right.
at this point, and Dyrax says, if we are lucky, Valindra will be there.
Maybe Wesson will be there.
Cappy gets excited.
Making your way back through the streets of Omu brings you back to when you first arrived. The site where the Red Wizards were massacred by Rosnasi's forces sits barren in the dead of night. It's where you first met Riga and freed Orvex from his crumbled prison. For Zegmira and Dyrax, the sight brings entirely different memories. You move past the guardhouse with the graffiti on the walls. Zavril, that's where you were waylaid and taken to the Fane. It's where you first met Wesson, and also where you last spoke to Zimwa B. So much has happened in these last few days, in these last few months. You occasionally glance at one another. You've been beaten, bruised, bloodied, your clothes tattered.
Quickly, remember the graffiti in the guardhouse? Everything it said?
Not everything, but I remember some of it.
Check this out. This is a cool thing to recap now that we've been through the city. Fear the fangs of Rosna Sea. The puzzle cubes are the key. Beware the frog monster. Who is Unk? All hail the king of feathers.
Yep.
The snakes are not what they seem. And then the Kubazan equals bravery. The Shagambi equals wisdom. Moa equals, and there was a question mark. It's just cool to think about. We've been through all the little graffiti writings on that guardhouse wall.
That's awesome.
That is pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Is there any, so now looking at each other, experiencing what you have since you've arrived in Omu.
It's not even just Omu. It's like we came here with the 3 C's. Who would have thought that this would have been on us to stop this curse? You know, when they initially hired people to go through Cholt, and, you know, we were just kind of tagging along there on the ships. You know, they had specialized teams for this that, honestly, are doing a pretty horrible job. We haven't ran into them. But, yeah, I mean, it's starting to pick up pace. Like, it's starting to get really intense as far as what we're going to do.
Yeah, remember solving the death curse was a pipe dream. It was just an excuse for Syndra to get the what would the word be, patronage, or to get, you know, Syndra funding the three shipping company.
Yeah, pretty much. Your sole purpose was to come here on behalf of the 3C's shipping and freight to get their name out and make contacts and extend their reach, because this whole thing with Syndra's mission was just a stretch.
Who do we think the first person to die will be?
Irame.
In the tomb?
And Zabril's really starting to get worried about Zimwa B too.
Yeah, that is worrisome.
Yeah, Quincy's been thinking about him as well. I have a plan for when we get back to try to find him.
It's good to have Quincy back.
It is.
Yeah, though we're leaving, I want to get back as quick as possible. Now that we have the cubes,
We have no choice but to move with haste. It's like just a matter of time. Every day people are dying.
so we should pretty much go back, get what we need, and come right back here through the magic circles. Hopefully we can.
Yeah, do we know how to use them? I can't
I'm sure Valinger will teach us.
Well, like, I feel like one of us
Quincy knows
figured it
how.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it
Quincy wrote it
a
down
neat-
in his journal.
Anit showed him, maybe?
Yeah.
That's right, because Anit went back.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because there's a portal somewhere in the port.
With my newfound power, I do not need to use the portals anymore.
Oh.
And we'll see you next time on the 9019 podcast. And you guys level up.
Woo woo!
Ding.
Level 7.
Yeah.
Level 7.
I'm not sure what happens. I don't know if level 7's a big number for me.
Crunch them up, boys.
Level 7
and
is
girls.
normally a class